Welcome back everyone, my name is Ken with Switch Regalia, and today I'm sharing my top 10 third-party Switch games that run at 60 frames per second. Now, one of the biggest things I'm excited about for a potential Nintendo Switch successor is possibly seeing more and more third-party games run at higher frame rates. It's not something you see very often with the current Switch, so today I wanted to showcase some of these titles that did a decent job of either porting over classics or optimizing modern titles to run silky smooth on the humble little Tegra X1. So without further ado, let's start with number 10, the Portal Companion Collection. Admittedly, I missed out on all the Portal craze back in the day, but honestly, I don't regret it, because I now got to enjoy these classic and memorable experiences for the first time on my Nintendo Switch. I found every bit of these games to be an absolute joy to play, combining a witty yet charming plot with an innovative first-person puzzle-solving experience running at a smooth 60 frames per second, both handheld and docked. Now, do keep in mind, these are shorter gaming experiences that are well over a decade old. But despite those facts, these games' visuals are timeless, and the gameplay is a testament to Valve's innovation and optimization prowess, making it number 10 on my list. Number 9, The Tourist. Now, it's really no secret that optimization can really take a game to new heights, even with older hardware. The Tourist is a perfect example for this case, being developed by Sheenen, a German game developer that is simply known for pushing games and hardware to the absolute limit. This game runs at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second throughout your entire playthrough. But not only that, it has impressive lighting, lightning fast load times, and it only takes up 363 megabytes of storage. That's kind of nutty. The premise has you exploring various islands, uncovering mysteries, and participating in various minigames to advance the plot. It's also on the shorter side, and can be fully completed in about 7 hours. But for $20, or maybe less if you catch it on sale, The Tourist is a fun and unique high frame rate experience to enjoy on your Nintendo Switch, making it number 9 on my list. Number 8, Quake 2 Remastered. Now this is how you properly remaster a classic game. Quake 2 Remastered is an oasis for fans of late 90s boomer shooters. Not only do you get an enhanced version of the original game in HD with improved models and lighting, they throw in Quake 2 64, local and online multiplayer co-op with crossplay support, a brand new expansion plus all the originals, enhanced enemy AI, and one banger of a soundtrack. All of this for a generous $10? That's pretty wild. Oh, and in case you haven't noticed, yes, this game does run at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second all the time. Definitely worthy of a number 8 spot on my list. Number 7, Ukulele and the Impossible Layer. The sequel to 2017's 3D platformer, Ukulele, returns in a beautifully polished 2D side-scrolling adventure similar to the likes of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Ukulele and the Impossible Layer has a unique gimmick in which you can completely finish the game right at the beginning. Yeah, if you're actually skilled enough, you can fight and defeat the final boss within the first few minutes of starting the game. Now, most people probably won't do this, which the game would actually then cajole you to go on the game's main journey to collect the necessary enhancements to make the fight less harder. The journey itself, however, is a fun one, filled with colorful visuals, a lovely soundtrack, and, well, you guessed it, a solid 60 frames per second experience throughout the entire playthrough, making this number 7 on my list. Number 6, Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is a welcome addition to the Metroidvania genre. You take control of the knight, armed with a weapon known as the nail. Sounds super simple, but believe me, it actually gets much deeper. The Fallen Kingdom of Hollow Nest is loaded with lore as you explore the various areas. Hollow Knight's gameplay also offers a challenging playthrough, satisfying boss fights, and the capability to learn incredible abilities along the way. The beautiful art style and graphics presented in a solid 60 frames per second makes Hollow Knight number 6 on my list. Now, I wish I had something to say about Hollow Knight Silksong, but we just haven't gotten that game yet. But I'll be patient. Number 5, Bug Fables: The Everlasting Sapling. Many fans of the Paper Mario series weren't too thrilled with the gameplay of the Origami King when it released on the Nintendo Switch. In fact, many will argue that the Thousand Year Door is and should be the golden standard when it comes to Paper Mario games. Well, Bug Fables aims to uphold that standard, it seems. And as you can tell by the gameplay, it looks pretty much identical to the Thousand Year Door. I mean, of course, the game itself has its own unique cast of characters and its own story, but visually, it looks, feels, and plays like a proper Paper Mario game. Everything from the interactive battle sequences to discovering secrets in the world using character-specific abilities, and even down to the charming story, it has a lot of DNA that's inspired by Paper Mario. So, if you're looking for something to scratch that itch while you wait for the remake of the Thousand Year Door, which I just realized actually comes out this month, go ahead and give this one a go. And yeah, it does run at a solid 60 frames per second, making it number 5 on my list. Number 4, Neon White. Now, the two things that I could never imagine ever working well together are card games and first-person shooters. Well, that was until I experienced Neon White. This fast-paced first-person adventure has you playing as an assassin called a Neon, a soul plucked from hell to do God's dirty work, eradicating demons in heaven. You're also competing against other Neons in a competition called the 10 Days of Judgment. Sounds like a pretty solid plot, and has a pretty cool cast of characters with even more solid gameplay. It features high-speed 60 frame per second demon hunting while platforming through various areas of heaven. Your actions and abilities are determined by the types of cards you can collect, and these include weapons, jumps, explosives, and so much more. And during your downtime, you can actually build relationships with other characters in the central hub. So overall, it's a pretty remarkable experience, landing this at number 4 on my list.
It's Pina Colada Day at the pool.
Number 3, Fast RMX. Have you ever wondered what happened to F-Zero on the Switch? Guys, it's actually been right in front of our noses this whole time. Well, not really. But Fast RMX is probably the closest thing we're going to get for now. And honestly, I'm not mad. Just look at this game. This is another gem designed by the kings of optimization, Shinan. Fast RMX demonstrates blazing fast futuristic racing with beautiful stages, environmental effects, and of course, no surprise, 60 frames per second gameplay through and through. This game has no business looking as good as it does on the Switch, yet somehow it does. If you need something to fill that void in your heart left by F-Zero, definitely check this one out. Certainly worthy of my number 3 spot. Number 2, the Ori Collection. Originally released on Xbox One, these two Ori games proudly represent true art in gaming, and it definitely shows. These games are absolutely stunning, especially on the Nintendo Switch. Fluid animations, perfect environmental lighting, and a grand soundtrack, all encapsulated by emotional storytelling. These Metroidvanias run at a constant 60 frames per second, and you play using abilities to explore the depths of each world. Ori and the Blind Forest sets the standard for this enthralling experience almost flawlessly, and somehow Ori and the Will-o'-the-Wisps improves upon it in so many ways. Now, whether you decide to pick these up one by one or all together, you cannot go wrong with these experiences, making it number 2 on my list. Number 1, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Alright, so a lot of you probably already seen this coming because, well, the game is just so damn good. Prince of Persia found its lost crown in my number 1 spot for so many reasons. For starters, it just has fantastic gameplay mechanics. These include precise, fast-paced countering and parrying of enemy attacks, the use of special abilities that only further expand with the character growth along the way, and a brilliant art style that just simply complements this beautiful world that's inspired by Persian mythology. Ubisoft has done wonders with this game, and the fact that it runs as well as it does on the Nintendo Switch with a solid, smooth, consistent 60 frames per second, this is an absolute treat for frame fans and platformers and Metroidvania fans as a whole. At $50, you get a lot of gameplay and enjoyment, and honestly, you can even find this one on sale pretty often as well. Either way, if you're seeking for a grand high frame rate experience from a third-party developer, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is an absolute must, making this number 1 on my list. Now, I do know there are plenty of other third-party games that aim for that 60 frame per second target, and a few epic ones like Penny's Big Breakaway make for some solid experiences. but they do seem to struggle to retain that target, especially when a lot of action is going on the screen. That being said, one of my most anticipated titles this year, Remastered, seems to also be running at 60 frames per second on the Switch, so I'm certainly looking forward to that. But overall, this list is just my opinion, and I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you have any favorite high-performing Switch games, be it third or first party? Feel free to let me know in the comments. And once again, this is Ken from Switch Regalia, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone.